Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to
another
What is
abrupt
up,
ending to
everybody?
a killer video.
What is up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to the show. David Meltzer, welcome to the show. Lacey Book, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
The show, the podcast, Get Book Solid. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. Hey, we just are coming off an amazing time last week. You may have missed out, but don't miss out on future opportunities. We're going to be doing it again very soon. Doing podcast interviews for the podcast. You too can be a part of the podcast. Just reach out to us, Sean at bookyourselfsolid.com, Lacey at bookyourselfsolid.com, or David at dmeltzer.com, and you can be a part of that. Then we took a little time for recovery, which we talked about last show. What I'm picking up, Dave. Well, first of all, how was your week? Let us know how did you see the week?
You know, it was a culmination of being very active in the lesson that just because you can handle the amount of activity doesn't mean other people can. And two, when you press those time frames, that you're running the risk of shit happening. My favorite lesson, of course, is if you want to come up with a great way to make God laugh is come up with a well-developed plan. God laughed at me for the last 3 weeks for having a hyperactive, well-developed plan. And I learned valuable lessons about you need to leave space for shit to happen.
You got to leave space for shit to happen. I like that. It's just like, a little buffer. You got to have a little buffer in there.
How was your week?
My week was good. It was great. We had lots of travel, but that's typical.
Yeah, you also have to leave some space for shit to happen. We did really good until the last flight, and it got.
Oh, well, always with travel, you have to leave space for shit to happen, I think, especially nowadays.
Yeah,
Let's put up front. Where are you off to this week? Where can people find David Meltzer this week?
So as always, we will be very active. I'm leaving for Houston tomorrow for the Aspire VIP dinner. And then I'll be keynoting at Aspire on Thursday. And then come home. I might stop by VCon and say hi to Gary Vaynerchuk. Saturday, I'm keynoting the Infinite Growth Conference. And then once again, leaving space for shit to happen. I'm going down to San Diego to take care of my mom, work out of my beach house for a couple days before we leave for Dallas and a variety of things. I do have a little bit of JOMO, the joy of missing out, because I'm on the board of the Global Gaming League, and my boy Clinton Sparks, a big shout out, is having a huge event in Las Vegas, and it always is frustrating when I can't be there for all my friends who show up for me. So big shout out to Clinton and the Global Gaming League.
What are we doing this week?
I'm playing in the member guest with Nate Bloomy. I'm going to win that. A lot of money online with Nate Dogg. And we're working. Because we're doing that, we're going to be in Dayton tomorrow and packed first 3 days. And I say we because they have special events for the wives. I want to dive into a topic today. So many people, this is what I found out last week talking to people, is the people that watch the show. First of all, if you're not a member of our free Facebook community, it's called Get Book Solid. Make sure that you plug in there. We'd love to help you to get book solid outside of just this time that we spend together every week, giving you marketing, sales, and mindset instruction, tips, strategies, and tactics so that you can begin to fill your books. And the number one thing that I'm hearing from people, Dave, and this is right down your alley, is listen, I've been paying attention to Get Book Solid. I've been understanding and studying concepts like the 6 core self-promotion strategies, like stage theory, as Dave teaches. Having a great conversation with a client yesterday about, look, if you're not going to embrace content creation, content editing, and content publishing on multiple platforms, people simply aren't going to know your message. But a lot of people are saying, listen, I'm getting that, but you know what? I'm not getting any sales. I'm not getting any sales. So I thought this would be a great time to put here on this show your sales process. And then what we'll do is we'll infuse that, because it's very similar actually to the Book Yourself Solid, super simple sales process that is taught in the book. Because let's see if we can't help people in our time this morning to get more sales.
Yeah, well, the number one way to get sales is to get people to get back to you in person, on the phone, via email and social media. The framework has changed, that there's so many people to address. Unlike the old days where you would have a specific area and a specific strategy in order to facilitate a higher conversion rate, we're actually trying to just convert people by stimulating interest. And if you don't spend, it's kind of like golf. 44% of all shots are putts, but nobody practices putting. The easiest and fastest way to get sales is get more people to get back to you, answer you, email you back, DM you back, whatever it is, get back to you. If you double the amount of people that get back to you, you'll double your sales, and you'll get better at sales because you'll get more practice. And so in order to transition interest, share a vision, which is a verbal, implied, written, or even with consideration agreement, then we have a greater pool, a community to manage and develop that vision, which is the key to people selling for you. And when people are selling for you, your community is selling for you, that's when you get even more sales. But most people think that just by posting a lot, you mentioned capture, modify, amplify, and perpetuate their content, that somehow that's going to get people to get back to them. Everything I do has an intention of stimulating interest to get people to get back to me and increase my numbers.
Well, I think that that's the missing piece, that for most people is, in order for people to get back to you, you have to make an ask. And so many people just put a ton of content out there, and they're like, well, I'm putting all this content out there. I'm recording myself. I'm giving away value. I'm, posting every single day. I'm writing content, but there's literally no ask attached to any of the stuff that they're putting out. So how does somebody know what the next logical step is to reach out to you if you've never even told them? And so when I hear you say I put intention behind it, that means that there's also some inherent ask in there so that people know what to do to reach out and get back to you in the first place. And a lot of people I see, they don't do that. And then they're like, I don't understand why I'm not getting sales.
Yeah, they just say facts. Oh, look, the sky is blue and the earth is round and we're in orbit. Thank you so much. Like, that's all they do. And then people and that's literally these same people that are saying, like, but I'm not getting any sales. But I do feel, Dave, that they are attempting. I mean, they have very good intentions, because if we were to ask them, they would say, I'm attempting to stimulate interest. Because I'm telling them interesting things, how many red blood cells there are in the body, right. Or, they're just trying to say interesting things, telling anecdotal stories and lessons. How do I transition from stimulating interest to sharing the vision once I have, gotten some sort of response, engagement, once I have gotten them to respond, to enter into now a two-way dialogue? What is that transition? Because I also think that's where a lot of people get weird. It gets a little clunky because they go right to, hey, let's do an event together in France. And then you're like, whoa, that was like, it was just saying that I liked your content.
Yeah, you got to be extremely good looking to get someone in bed right away. Yeah. And so what you really want to do, no pun intended, is to have a better offer than let's, go to bed right now. And so those better offers should be strategic and aligned with those that do that. For example, I offer my free book, pay for shipping in the book, to everyone, and do so in every show that I go to. I know that a certain percentage of those people will want that book, and that's a certain type of person. I also know a certain percentage of the people will read the book. And then each of those types of people, I'm able to give a better offer to if they accept the offer to get my book. Where, for example, the next most popular thing that people ask for from me is the overlap agreement. An overlap agreement is a referral agreement that's a non-binding memorialization of how we can help each other. So number one, it's aligned with the community I'm trying to build, people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other. But two, they obviously are interested in sales. They're obviously interested in doing business. They obviously are interested in collaborating. So that's a better offer in order to facilitate being intentional of who I want to stimulate interest from, and making it easier for me then to transition the interest into going to bed with me. And so here, a lot of people, they don't, number one, have an offer, like Lacey said, or two, they don't have an intentional design alignment of their offer with the community of people that they want to give back to them. So they'll say, the sky is blue, the grass is green, it's the prettiest day that I've ever seen. Hey, 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 it's the perfect place. But either they have no invitation of the perfect place, or they don't have a vehicle to offer to people in order to effectuate stimulating interest of people who want to join a community of people that love the perfect place.
I also feel like too, people get a little apprehensive because they're like, well, I don't want to sell or have an offer on every single thing that I do. And I always tell my clients, the reality of it is you don't always have to sell or give away your book, or ask people to engage with you, or ask people to sign up for your email list on every single video. Sometimes the call to action can be just follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Like, regardless of what you're doing, you still just have to give people a way to engage with you further, a way to reach out. And if you're uncomfortable, it doesn't always have to be a sale. And I think that's why a lot of people get resistant, because they get nervous. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to continue to, shove my free PDF down their throats every single day. We'll give them something else to do, right? But there has to be something, and you have to figure out what that something is whenever you're putting your content out there.
Yeah,
my most popular offer. Oh, go ahead, John.
Well, I was going to say absolutely. That I think is the struggle, and especially when we talk to service providers, we run into a lot of doctors, lawyers, accountants, coaches, and I always say this: they have the thing that they do. So the thing that they do, I'm a dentist. The thing that I do, I clean teeth and I fill teeth. Well, there's a giant gap from, hey, nice to meet you, to would you like to clean my teeth and fix any issues that you find. There's a big moat in between the meeting and I'm willing to do that. And a lot of service providers struggle. And I want to walk through that again. You said free book. So listen, I'm actually saying Dave did not utilize AI, but in today's world with AI, there's a lot of great resources where you can literally take your thoughts, concepts, ideas, and generate a book very quickly. Now what you have is a physical or even digital resource that can be utilized as a front-end giveaway, right? Then David talked about his overlap agreement, which in effect is a guide or resource that can be given away for free. In our world, likewise, we have our book that we will send you for free if you email us. If you want David's book, email him, david@dmeltzer.com. There's also a QR code right there. I've always wondered about that. If you're watching it on your phone, how does that work? And maybe I'm just old. Maybe there's a way that works. I'm not sure. You get someone else's phone. You hit that QR code. You can get Dave's book. You can email Lacey or I. We'll be happy to send you a copy of our book. Or DM us. DM Lacey. You also can get a copy. You can email Dave and say, I need a copy of that overlap agreement. We have tons of guides that we put out. Some of our most popular ones, delegation matrix, 6 P's of goal setting, lots of guides that we put out. If you want any of our guides, we'd be happy to give those to you, because what that does is it gives you an opportunity to have a coffee date as David.
Without going to bed with us.
Yeah, you're engaged now in email. You're getting to know each other. And then one of the things that we talk a lot about is making sales offers proportionate to the amount of trust that you've earned. I think that's absolutely critical, especially in the service world, because it's difficult to just, as a chiropractor, say, do you want me to lay you down and crack your back? Do you want me to, right here in the restaurant, take a look at that, wonky tooth that you have? You have to have a way to scale up into that process. And I think that David's one that has super figured that out. So we're stimulating interest. We can transition into sharing the vision. Dave, what do we do after we've now we're in conversation, we're having a coffee conversation, people start to get anxious because they're like, listen, guys, there's no money here yet. And I think you guys don't understand. I got bills to pay.
Yeah. Well, I also want to add just real quick, my number one response to people is share my content and do good deeds.
Right.
So, it does not even have to be that far along, but understanding meeting people we're at, understanding value. There's only two ways to provide value. And I will repeat this again and again and again and be annoying, but there's only two ways. You need to find out where people are today, because you need to find out what they like about today and what they don't like about today. And figure out with your capabilities. It may not be your capability as a dentist. It may be your capability as a friend or an associate, a partner, an introducer. You need to find out, would it help you if I did this for you? Or would it help you if I took away what is bothering you? Because once you convey that value, now you have a quantitative measurement in which you can ask for something of less value to have a true statistical success. And so when we offer things that have more value than we're asking for, statistically, we get a great response. And it doesn't necessarily have to be aligned with the quantitative service, like being a dentist, a chiropractor, or getting booked for a speaking engagement, whatever it may be. And so for me, I like to use an open-ended question guide, which is also something I give away, that allows people to say, hey, I'm more interested than interesting. I'm not going to feature and benefit dump all over you and assume that you have a wonky tooth. I'm going to ask you, hey, you have a beautiful smile, Sean. What do you do to keep that smile the way it is? And you're going to tell me, and I'll say, is there anything you don't like about your smile? Oh, would it help you if I gave you a veneer on your back left tooth that you don't like, that nobody can see, because you're the only one that really gives a shit about that? And if you fix that tooth, I might even go to bed with you. And by the way, you don't necessarily have to be really good looking to get someone right into bed. You could be like Bobby Flay, for example, if you're a huge fan of cooking. People would just like throw themselves at a chef. So there's many ways to sell instantly. So if you know your superpower, that also helps as well.
Well, I also think people, when I talk to people a lot, they say, well, Lacey, like, I don't want, because you said you have to give away value. I don't want to give away the things that I have a value. I need to charge for those. And I think that people have a misconception around that. We always say you want to give away your best stuff for free, right? And I think some of the most successful entrepreneurs, coaches, individuals out there have recognized that this is a really powerful way to connect with individuals. Because the reality of it is not everybody knows how to take action on their own, but they need to see the value of which you can provide and the skill that you have. And so we tell our clients all the time, don't worry, you should be giving away as much value as possible. Number one, you're putting good into the world. You're helping individuals. But number two, there's some people that say, I don't want to do this on my own, but I see that you're the right person to help me because of all the value that you've provided. So speak to the idea of giving away your stuff for free.
And I love the overlap here, because basically in the Book Yourself Solid super simple sales process, I'm going to be more interested than interesting. I'm going to discover, step one, where are you at today, as David says, and what problems are you having? And step two, I'm going to actually begin to, and David didn't bring this up, but this is part and parcel to David's core teachings. I'm going to discover, are you open-minded? What sorts of things have you tried? And I'm going to ask, and subtly, but I'm going to uncover, do you need help with that? So, which is the same thing as, would it help you if, right? Because a lot of times, would it help you if, a lot of people are like, oh, no, currently, well, I'm already doing oil pulling. And so a lot of people are already doing their thing, and they're not open-minded to an introduction, to a touch of favor, they're just not. They're like, oh, I'm doing this, right? So we have to discover, are they open-minded? The last part then is, if I am open-minded and I am willing to receive help, and we have built trust, credibility, rapport, that relationship exists. The last part in the Book Yourself Solid, super simple sales process is would you like for that help to be me? Right. And so at some point, we're going to, even if it's, a transition into that, are you open-minded for help? And would you like for me to be the one that provides you help? And now, if they're like, yes, then booking the business is actually quite easy, because I'm literally saying, Dave, so what does it look like to coach with you? And I think that that's one thing that so many people miss, is that if you can do sales right, you can get the other person. By you being more interested than interesting, the other person will literally ask you to close them by saying, what does it look like to come in and get my wonky tooth fixed? What does it look like to be a client? What does it look like to book you to speak? Now you don't feel weird because you're not jamming your agenda in their face. You're now just filling in the data points, the facts of how we can close this transaction. I think that's absolutely critical. And I think, Dave, you're one of the best at that.
You have to tell a story that's aligned with what we've learned. And I want to reiterate the open-mindedness, because I did pass that over in the stimulating of interest. And that also pertains to 2 periods of time during getting books solid. One, when you stimulate interest, there's a 3-no rule. And after you've shared a vision, there's a 3-no rule. That's why you have a go, no-go plan to manage and develop that vision, all determined to run away from a closed mind. And that's the idea of the 3-no rule. It doesn't necessarily have to be 3-no. It could be the first time. It could be a 1-no rule for a closed mind, or it could be a 10 determinative upon who you are and what you're doing. For me, I generally keep it at 3 with exceptions, but it's all determined that, you have a 100% chance of sharing a vision with an open mind, and a 0.0001% chance of closing a closed mind or sharing a vision with one. So in that respect, it's so important to understand that we need to constantly tell stories that are aligned with what they like. And so it doesn't have to be the obsequious, I've been working with couples who are in the service industry that work together, and I've been able to increase their revenue 30%. I hear that kind of shit all day long. But instead, understanding what you like and what you don't like about being a couple in the service industry and the difficulties or interference that it's causing in generating revenue, I may tell a story about another couple that are friends of mine. And when we went up to Napa, this is what we had. And it was a really interesting conversation, because I never realized that this is actually the issue, that time, value, and emotion is constantly changing. And because of that, the subject matter, topic, or expertise of a married couple is exacerbated or amplified because of the travel time that they spend together, the actual time that they are at a winery or at a vodka tasting. And that, while we are in the flow having a good time, me and my wife, all of a sudden the topic or subject came up about their business, and it created interference between that period of time that most couples are enjoying themselves. There's a constant fear of doing business while we're not supposed to be doing business. Some stories like that. And believe me, that's not about Sean and Lacey. I was just using what Sean and Lacey did to do that, because they don't do or care about each other. So it wouldn't matter. Right. No, I'm kidding.
Nailed it.
Sounds like, what did he just say? No, that's just because they have better offers from each other. Can we share that story, by the way? Because it may have been my favorite moment of the whole weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is an opportunity to sell. We have an event coming up. So yeah, share the story.
So Julie invited Sean and Lacey, our best friends, to her birthday party. Journey, Def Leppard, and like, in her mind, I could see there's no way that they're going to say no. They just flew all the way to Napa to be with us. Right. Why wouldn't they come and celebrate her birthday? And Lacey's like, oh yeah, we'd love to go. What's the date? And she looks down at her phone and she says, oh no, we have better offer. We have better offers. And me and Julie look at each other like, what the, like, are you kidding me? Like, what's a better offer? Like, you hurt our feelings tremendously. And then you saw our face, you're like, what? And then you realize that the better offers is a program that you've already committed to have people come and learn how to present better offers. And even though our offer was better, you value previous commitments, which me and Julie respect. And so it took away the pain and hurt that we had that you had a better offer about being and doing better offers. What's the date of that? August 26th?
August 23rd and 24th, Naples, Florida. The event is called Make Better Offers. And so that was also, they didn't hear the make part. Make better offers, which is great because we just talked about this. If you do actually struggle with that front end, you're like, man, all I do is go out and meet people and I try and get their wonky tooth fixed. This whole program, 2 days, Lacey and I literally workshopping with you and helping you to create your offer stack. The program is called Make Better Offers. If you're like, I need to make better offers, that's what I need. I need to make better offers. Reach out to us, Sean at bookyourselfsolid.com. We'll be happy to get you information on that. If you're invited to Julie Meltzer's birthday party, incredible concert. We're trying to figure out who's headlining. I'm going to vote for Journey. If you have an opportunity to be there, look, that is a better offer. That's the best offer. But if you are not on quite at that level where you make that cut, you can come to Naples with us who didn't make the cut when we made the cut, but then we missed the cut because we had a better offer. Listen, just reach out to us. We'd be happy.
If I keep saying stupid shit, I'll be coming to Naples.
There you go.
Yes.
My credit card will be left at home for the suite, but I'll be coming to
kicked
Naples.
out. Yeah.
Exactly.
We had a fantastic time. Listen, like I said earlier, too, if you've made it this far with us, we are super excited about a lot of the opportunities coming up in September. We're going to do another run, mastermind, podcasts, SoFi, Las Vegas, the Dills and the Meltzers. We're going to run it back and do it again in September. And we would love for you to be a part of that VIP dinner. So, I mean, SoFi, Vegas, podcast, mastermind, VIP dinner, all of that available to you in a 48-hour span. I mean, so Dave's going to be having to.
We just got to decide whether we want. We just got to decide whether we want to do the Win Studio with SiriusXM or Palazzo Studio. So I'm waiting for the better offer, and we'll see whether the Win or Palazzo.
We'll just tell people all the time, like, if you can make a better offer, then we'll consider it.
Exactly.
Hopefully this is your best offer, and hopefully this is your best offer on a Tuesday morning. We're here every Tuesday. Make sure that you join us. Make plans to be here every Tuesday. We want to give you just a little bite-sized nugget to inch you a little bit closer to getting book solid. Dave, thank you for your friendship, your time, your commitment, your passion, and all that you do in the world. Lacey, thanks for that and so much more for being here. And for all of you watching, make sure that you get plugged in, join the free group, get a copy of the free book, do all things Meltzer and Dill. You guys will absolutely love it. Have a good day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to